You're watching The Bo Frye Show, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Hurlburt Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, The Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 edition of the Bo Frye Show. I'm your host, Joe Hurlburt, alongside head coach Bo Frye, and we'll be talking Roughrider football throughout the course of this season. And over the course of the next half hour, we'll be talking about the Western Buckeye League in general, maybe some of the new rule changes that have come into effect, and what this 2024 Roughrider football team is all about. And we'll let them wind up with talking about this week's opponent, the Salina Senior Bulldogs. But once again, Coach, glad to have you along, and congratulations last week.
Hey, thank you very much.
Well, for the Roughriders, we're off to a good start. A lot better than we started off last year, and I think when you look at your schedule this year, the competition obviously is top-heavy again like it was last year, but the plus of that side is that 4 of those games are at home.
Yeah, we love playing at home, first off and foremost. It's a great facility. A lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into this place. So, yeah, playing at home is definitely to our advantage. I think we're something like lost 3 games ever in this new stadium, so we're trying to keep that streak alive. But, yeah, it's definitely it's a sprint every week. You can't slow down. When we slow down is when we'll get beat.
Well, let's take a look at this as far as the Western Buckeye League is concerned. Last week overall, the league went 6-4. Some of the scores, in case some of you folks missed them: New Bremen defeated Bath 17-14. Salina played Columbus South 55-13. Salina won. That's this Friday's opponent. Napoleon defeated Defiance. That was a tough one. They lost in overtime 35-34. Elida took on Toledo Rogers, and they won 40-0. Eastwood defeated Kenton 38-35. Liberty Benton defeated OG 34-6. Of course, Van Wert defeated Bryan 48-8. Wapak played Toledo St. John's and defeated them 35-21. And Shawnee got their first win in a long, long time, defeating LCC by a score of 33-19. Of course, the Roughriders 33-14 win over St. Henry. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But, Coach, your overall view of the Western Buckeye League from top to bottom?
It's loaded. A lot of teams scoring a lot of points, a lot of good defense. It's like I told you, it's going to be a sprint every week, and when we slow down is when we get beat.
You know, we mentioned a little bit about some of these teams in the Western Buckeye League that traveled to play. Like, for example, Salina played Columbus South. Wapak played Toledo St. John's, and Elida played Toledo Rogers. It almost seems each and every year it's difficult to try to find a non-conference ball game to open up the season.
Yeah, well, the Western Buckeye League is well known and throughout the state, and it's hard to find opponents because we're kind of in between divisions. So, like, we're not huge, but we're not small, and everybody's looking to get a win in week 1.
Well, when you take a look at this year's ball club, let's take a look overall. You've got a lot of experience returning, especially in the offensive line. I thought that was prevalent last Friday in the win over St. Henry. You're returning 9 seniors on offense, I believe 2 juniors. So that year experience, even though at the beginning of the season last year you took a beating simply for the fact that your offensive line was inexperienced, they got a lot better throughout the course of the year last year. And I think Friday you're seeing the maturity level just increase offensively.
I don't know if it's as much experience and more confidence. I didn't think we were there really that bad of football players last year when we started the season 0-4, but we're a much more confident group right now. They're a smart group. These 21 seniors, darn near half of them are in the National Honor Society type kids. So they're a smart group. We can do more things with them, and they're a fun group to be around.
Well, when you look offensively, of course, we got a new quarterback, Jacob Kessler, and we got basically 3 running backs back in the backfield, Colton Mabry, Dominic Osborne, and Caleb Schmidt. But the big key was your quarterback. Jacob Kessler saw a lot of action last year on both sides of the football. Obviously, he is a very good athlete, or he wouldn't be in that position.
Kessler's gifted. God's given him some gifts, and we play your cards how you want to play your cards. We were pretty deep in the backfield, and he can throw the ball very well as well. And he's done everything we've asked him to do. As long as he continues to do what we're asking him to do, he'll have a great season at quarterback.
And on the defensive side of the football, very much the same. You got a lot of experience back, and it was evident last Friday night, because when you needed a down, you needed a play stop, they rose to the occasion.
Yeah, confidence, I think, comes back to that. A lot of kids, they're still not really that old. 4 of those guys over there are still sophomores, but they all played last year for a large amount of the season. So they're not your typical sophomores, but they're making plays, and that's all that matters in the end.
I'm sure Zach Farrell and Bill Krug on the rules of the game will talk about some new rules that have been implemented for this season. But from your standpoint, some of the things that has changed as far as from the rules are concerned, and I think there's one that you mentioned to me a while back about there's a possible fine that can be implemented.
Yeah, I know all I know is you should not talk crap about officials, and I have nothing bad to say about any official ever. So, and I knew that, but other than that, the rules are all staying the same. So,
Good.
Yeah.
And, of course, one thing before we talk about last week's game. This week, obviously, extremely hot weather. You've had to make some adjustments in your practice schedule. How is that determined?
Well, a lot of it comes from our athletic director, Jim Holman. He tells me what I can do and what I can't do. But at St. Mary's, you have to practice. That's who we are. And we always find a way to practice, whether it be late at night, early in the morning, inside, outside. We're going to practice because that's who we are.
And, of course, we talked about earlier going on the air is that they use like a humidity bulb, and that kind of basically dictates where you practice.
Yeah, it's a wet bulb. Our athletic trainer, Molly Rendler, who also does an amazing job, she kind of relays the information to Jim, and there's like a red where you can do this, there's an orange, there's all kinds of different, I won't get too deep into it, but yeah, she just guides me in the process.
And of course the biggest thing is player safety, and I'm sure that everybody's aware of that, and you do the best you can to keep players safe. That is your number one priority.
Oh, 100%, yes.
So let's take a look at last week's game against the St. Henry Redskins, 33-14. We'll take a look at some of the defensive clips first. I thought your defense played very, very well.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this first one.
Good job setting the edge, and Cameron Danmeyer, who you saw a lot last year, showing up.
Yeah.
He's he's big. Yeah. He's huge. Yeah. So.
Of course, your defense gave up just 229 yards of offense, 10 first downs. They played extremely well. 194 of that 229 came on the ground. So
that was a real good play. I feel like I'm standing on the sidelines. I felt that ball right here hung in the air for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It was bouncing up forever, and it's just a lot of guys getting to the football, and Compton putting his hands on it. So it's a name you heard a lot last year as well.
Yep. I think this is the same play, but just from a different angle. You can see guys getting in the passing lane, and the ball's up in the air. And anytime that the ball goes up in the air, it's anybody's ball.
Anybody's ball. So you got to get to the football. That's why we stress getting to the football. That's where plays are made. It's another Kessler jumping a route, missing it by a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was a little disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good DB, man. He's been playing in the secondary since he's been a sophomore, so his experience back there has really helped him out.
Well, I think another thing here, I think as Whirling gets to the outside, and he was a pretty decent athlete.
Good. He lit us up last year running the ball at quarterback. The kid's a good football player, and I thought St. Henry was very well coached. A lot of respect for those guys. The MAC, man, I thought some teams, you come out 19-7 at halftime, they're laying down. Yeah. I heard St. Henry's fans get roaring. I said, hey, Coach, now you better get down there and get these guys, make sure we're ready to go, because these guys aren't packing it in. Yeah. So definitely a testament to those guys, because they're very well coached and they play with pride.
I think one of the keys in the ball game on Friday night was time of possession. Obviously, St. Mary's dominated time of possession. They held it 33 minutes and 59 seconds, limited St. Henry to just 13 minutes and 40 seconds on the field, and that has a big effect as well.
That helps when you are just mauling people and hanging onto the football and doing things right. It all works together.
Yeah, we talked about Charlie Whirling, number 12, we saw just a moment ago. 12 carries for 149 yards, so averaging 12 yards a rush. That's impressive.
He had a good night against us. Yeah, it's a motion penalty by the offense, but definitely we lucked out a bit, because two guys can't go in motion at the same time, so that helped. But obviously Kessler, he's got to man up and not let that happen. Mm-hmm.
Now we saw Jacob Kessler in the second half, kind of. I think he cramped up.
Yeah, he was cramping up a little bit.
And you could see that St. Henry took advantage of that, because that's where they were going with some of their passes in the fourth quarter. But we kind of figured that if it was something more serious, he wouldn't be out there. So we kind of anticipated that being some sort of cramp.
It was a cramp. So. He was struggling a little bit. He played a lot of football. It's the first time we played 4 quarters of football.
Oh yeah.
You play these scrimmages, you only play a half of football.
Good point.
So and he kind of got to make them play the 4 quarters to make sure that we're ready to roll.
Good job there by your defensive line.
Compton getting in the legs. Heck of a tackle by Compton, filling a window and just being tough, man. It's good. He does that every day in practice, man. He shows up. So.
This is another job by Taylor.
Yeah, it's just a good job getting in throwing lanes. That's just a great job by him. He's like I said, he's been playing. Yeah. I remember last year we started him against Walpock. His pants were falling down, and it didn't hardly fit him. So he's gained about 30 pounds.
Really?
He had a great off season. So he's obviously one you're going to see for a lot of years here. Luke Bournes, just selling out, man. Luke, that's just who Luke is.
Yeah, and again, he's a veteran. He's experienced from back there as well. Yeah. On the offensive side, 33 points the offense put on the board, and I tell you what, Dominic Osborne led the way in rushing with 23 carries, 193 yards, 8.4 yards per rush, and of course Colton Mabry, 26 rushes, 115 yards. 2 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per rush, and I tell you what, I like Caleb Schmidt. I was hoping he was going to hit the 100-yard barrier too, but he was like 29.
It's a heck of a job blocking by Schmidt, blocking 2 guys. I mean, sometimes Schmidt, you won't notice him in there, but he's doing a lot of the dirty work.
Yeah.
And that was obviously just Osborne getting loose. I mean, you've seen that 1,000 times. It's a fullback dive by Schmidt. He's a tough kid, man. Good kid. A lot of fun to be around.
Yeah. Well, I think on the broadcast I called Mabry Osborne once, but then I realized it's going to be easy to identify Osborne. He's got 2 different colored shoes, so that'll be easy from here on out.
We all got our own thing, So mine's my hair.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good job of Colton cutting it in and getting it to the pylon.
Yeah, I think we've seen that for 4 years, right?
Yep.
And that's just Colton Mabry playing football,
Well, he's a tough kid too.
He's physical.
He's hard to bring down.
Yeah. His hair's a little longer this year too, isn't it?
It is.
He's pretty. So.
Good job by Kessler. Good decision to pull the ball down and run with it instead of just trying to throw it out there into coverage and risk an interception.
That's why he's playing quarterback, Joe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he throws extremely well.
Yeah. Well, we saw him throw.
Here you go.
Right
Here it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Too long.
There. Close.
Put a little air under it. I think that's 6.
We'll get it. We're close. Yeah. It is week 1, man.
It is week 1. This play here, this counter worked extremely well for you all night.
Yeah.
And here's Osborne.
You know
getting
why?
it into
Jack
the end zone.
Snethkamp. Jack Snethkamp's why. He was washing down. You won't notice Jack because his hands are not the greatest at times at the tight end, but he'll wash the entire. He washes the entire defense down, and it was Jack Snethkamp. I mean, that's what it is. So
he blocked 3 people on that particular play to clear the corner.
You may not notice those things, but some guys are contributing in ways that are very, very maybe just as much as Dom running that ball as Jack Snethkamp washing that whole defense down. This was
Luke Ramel.
A bit of a miscommunication on our part.
Was he going to throw it?
Maybe. We actually have 4 quarterbacks that play split in.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
They all play quarterback.
I know. So. Aiden Meinerding came in, ran some under center. Next thing you know, I look out, he's at the wideout.
Yeah, Ramel plays quarterback too. And Trey Moore, who you didn't see as much of this week, he's a quarterback as well. So
you got some depth.
Yeah. It's counter Colton. Again. Yeah, counter again. Nice run by Colton. Getting vertical, getting yards, going forward.
I think this is the same play, just looking at the from the defensive side of the football.
Yeah.
Good hold there. I think Spencer could have ran that one. but maybe not. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He'd have tripped.
Yeah, he would have tripped over the line, I'm sure. Another counter.
This is a counter highlight film here, isn't it? Yeah. It's a good play. When it works, you know. So you don't need to go to step B if A is working. You know?
Exactly.
So,
And I think one of the things is because your sweeps work and you get the defensive flow in that direction and you get them set up, and the next thing you know, boom, you counter back and you got that whole opposite side wide open.
It all works together.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It's another different, nice cut by Mabry here. Starting to get a little later in the game, and we're just wearing. You see Lyman jumping in the pile to push it forward to get that extra 2, get that extra 3. It's another great run by Dom. It actually was tight right now, and then Dom broke out of there.
We thought this one was to the house, but nah, he's got to unhook the trailer.
I've been telling you for years, man. Greasy hips. Greasy hips. That's what makes him who he is. But he'll open it up. I think that kid right there was probably pretty fast that caught him.
Yeah. And that's what Roughrider fans are used to seeing.
Yeah.
They're used to seeing those big long runs, those big plays, and you know.
But that comes with time, and it comes with experience, and it comes. This is not an overnight thing.
Right.
And when you have 21 seniors that are contributing, that helps. That helps. That
raises your confidence level up just a little bit.
Yeah. It's a heck of a run by Schmidt at the end here. It's just him. You're going to hear about him for the next couple of years. Yeah. You knew last year when you came in.
Absolutely.
You saw him hit a trap. You said, that kid's going to be a good one.
He's going to be a good one. All right, let's take a look at the special teams. Obviously, special teams a big part in the ball game. This is Triplett's first kickoff at the varsity level.
Yeah.
And the story behind that is that he is a soccer player.
Yeah, he's actually the captain of the soccer team. I think he ran somewhat like 12 miles last week in the soccer games because I talked to the soccer coach when I was walking off the field, and we're very grateful to those guys for allowing us to work together. But I think he had a little nerves.
I think so.
But he's got a heck of a leg, man. You'll see it when he calms down.
I
always said against Marion, we attempted like a 48-yard field goal and he missed it by about an inch. So it'll come. He needs to calm his nerves.
Here's a punt return by Jacob Kessler. Did a good job of eluding the defense here. I'll tell you what, that takes a special dude right there to do that, to look up and concentrate on that ball, knowing that you've got 11 guys that are got a bullseye on you.
I mean, told you, Kessler's gifted. I mean, he's a gifted kid, and God's given him some talents. Hopefully, it'll help him. He can even punt.
This was unexpected. This was a good call. This was a good call. A quick kick. Yep. And good job there by, I think, Ramel went down and down the ball.
Good job by Ramel. See it from the side?
Yep.
You like that,
Same
huh?
thing. I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just part of what we've been doing, man.
I just thought the only thing is that Luke could see where that second bounce would have taken. But
it's week one, man.
But nonetheless, I get it. I I think this is Triplett's first extra point. I think nerve showed here too.
You got to quit putting him on blast here, man. He's got to calm down. He'll be okay. Everything's going to be just fine with him, obviously.
And I got him when he made some.
Yeah, he's be good. Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he will be. But you got to get on the kicker, though.
I'm just happy he's around.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the big thing. So. He's having trouble with the whistle too. I didn't realize that the whistle blew a long time ago.
Oh, really?
So, it's a whole new game. I mean, week one, it's a lot of little things that you think they may know, and then they don't know. So it's like, and sometimes you don't know until it smacks you in the face. So. It's a good job holding our water here and not jumping off sides. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. And then came after, I think, a little bit on the edges and holding up here and there, letting some guys run free. Obviously, this is a special team we want to be better on this week. Good job not getting a penalty there by Bournes as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's kickoff return. That goes back to the house, maybe?
This one here, and I'm sure Zach and Bill will look this one over. We had heard tripping.
He fell down, what happened, and his legs flew into him when he fell down. He went to hit somebody. It was Noah Dixon. He went to go make the block, and his legs, he missed him, and he flew, and his foot hit another guy, and that's what happened. They called it tripping.
Well, I extend a little bit of grace on that.
Do you have the side view of that or not? It's number 0 if you want to see it. But maybe not.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Hey,
we'll get more shots at it, won't we?
Hey, we got other options there too, so we'll be all right. See if we can see it here or not. Somewhere in there they said tripping on number 0. So there you see, he misses, and then his leg flies, and he hits his leg right there. His leg hits that kid, and that's what they call tripping. Yeah. Hey, looked good,
It was, I'd give him a sticker just for effort.
It was close, I know. But it's what it is. There's another one later in the game, I think. Not as good on this one, but we got people back there, and we got people you haven't seen back there either.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, the name Trey Moore, you didn't hear much of that, and he's a good football player,
Right.
So.
Well, that's a look at last week's ball game, the win over the St. Henry Redskins. Coach, we're going to put that game to bed. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at this week's opponents, the rival from across the lake. It's the Salina Senior Bulldogs coming to Grand Lake Health Systems Field this Friday night. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Hurlburt Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, The Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Welcome back to the Bo Frye Show. Joe Hurlburt alongside head coach Bo Frye. Glad to have you along. Let's take a look, first of all, before we get into Salina, some of the games around the Western Buckeye League this week. Van Wert's on the road at Bath. Defiance is at Wapak. Shawnee is at Elida. Kenton travels to OG to take on the Titans. And, of course, the Salina Senior Bulldogs come to St. Mary's to take on the Roughriders. And Coach Brendan Bader, of course, they bring back a Bulldog team that made it to the state semifinals last year. Of course, they opened up with Columbus South and defeated them 55-13. And to me, regardless of how good Columbus South is, 55 points, that's a confidence builder.
Mm-hmm. I think they had a lot of turnovers. They created a lot of turnovers, so that helped the score. I think they're a very good football team. I think they're very good in the trenches. I think Coach Bader's done a great job with them over there. They're playing confident. He's got them to a level, and it's hard. Right? I know we've taken our program to that top level. Once you get to that top level, it's hard to maintain it, and I think he's got them to a point that they can maintain it. So.
Well, they're returning 6 starters on offense, and they're also returning 6 on defense. But here again, when you talk about returners, it's the positions where they're returning them to. A lot of these returners are linemen, offensive and defensive linemen. They've lost a lot of people in the skilled positions, and so they're trying to fill that, and we'll just see how long it takes for the Bulldogs to get that accomplished. But nonetheless, you have to be ready to man up on Friday night.
100%. They're big in the trenches. I said a lot of veterans in the trenches. I have a veteran running back as well and a quarterback who played a lot last year for them as well. They're a well-coached football team, and it'll be a tough matchup.
Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck this Friday. If you get an opportunity, come out to Grand Lake Health Systems Field. Always a big rivalry game. We like to see the fans in the stands. And, of course, big night, Hall of Fame, recognition of the Roughriders, Hall of Fame inductions of the volleyball program. So it'll be a big night of festivities here on Friday night. We hope you'll come out to see them. If not, you can join us at 7 o'clock with the kickoff on Rider Nation Station. Of course, the Bo Frye show will be prior to that, as will the rules of the game with Zach Farrell and Bill Krug. So until Friday night, we have Roughrider football for you. For Bo Frye, I'm Joe Hurlburt. So long, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.